Let it 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 let it
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Where you going? You and Destiny should be here. Yeah, why not? Good evening. Come on in. Okay, here we go again, huh? We only at 14. We're only at 14 likes and hearts, but 59 eyes in here. Come on, y'all. It's offering time. It's offering time. Let's get the offering up. Help me out. I had us on Instagram, but it looks like when I closed it out, I lost it. Okay. Let's get the offering up. Come on. Y'all know what that means. I need likes and hearts and hates and whatever it is you feel like. Come on in. Let's get our self-assessment done tonight. We've got some great work. We have an interim check-in tonight. Come on. Like, tag, share. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Notebook? Book? You're not staying over here for 2 weeks. You're on punishment.
Yes. Thank you. Auntie.
21. Come on, we can do a lot better than that. Help me out, family. Have you liked and shared? Did you hit like? $25. Come on. There's 44 of you on YouTube. So we understand that all y'all can do is just say a hi. If you're on YouTube watching, can you hit like? And can you say hi? Aw, thank you, Cheryl Johnson. Thank you, Elder Manny. I see you saying hi. Good evening, Dominique. I see you, Tasha Ross, Gwyneth, Prudence, Camille, Darlene, Diana, Maria, Dolores, Sharita, Keita, Carmen Ortiz, Cheryl Johnson, Lydia Cordova. Welcome. Welcome, Brittany, Noemi. Is it Wickle? Nanita, Leah, Bianca, Special, Carmen Ortiz, Audria, Ubi. Good evening, Ashley, Nanita, Coach it'ձ, Gwen Moden. Hello, Keisha, Darlene Henry, Coach Maria, Rosalind. Hello, Sharon, Manuel, Nick, Renee, I see you. John Booker's in the house. Tanya Pittman, come on down. Karen, Chantel, Chevelle, good evening, Corinda's, Denise, Misha, good evening, Damien. Sylvia, good evening. Ronnie Bonner. Keita, I think I said your name. Carmen Jones, Danielle. Come on in, Candy and Kamisha. Damien says 957 subscribers, 4 more from yesterday. Come on, y'all. We only have a few days left here. We got to get it to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Bianca, Nicole Coleman, hello. Rhonda, Leah, Deja, hello, Vicky. Coach Latanya, my coaches are in and front and center tonight. Yvonne, Tasha Ross, Jessica, good evening. Carmen, good evening. Miss Renee, good evening. Good evening, Emmanuel. Emmanuel Scroose, good evening. All right. Apostle Pamela, good evening. Thank you, Chantel. Come on, help us out. It's offering time. Welcome, Tyrell. Good evening. All I need for offering time is for you to hit the like button or the heart button or the angry button. Hit a button. Say hello. Say something. Let us know that you're here. Let's get that carbon footprint up. Swift Ties. Gwen Tucker. Kareem. Awesome. How do you watch on YouTube Live? Go to YouTube and put in for your search Suzanne M. Howard, and it should come up. And if you scroll down the page a little bit, you'll see where the live video portion is. We're supposed to be live on Instagram too. It was happening, and then I couldn't deal with the double sound, so I closed out, and I guess maybe I closed out the wrong thing, and I closed out the application. But that's all right. We're going to go back and begin to post from day one, starting on Instagram. Welcome, family. Come on in. Let's get started. It is Sunday, January 22nd, and it is our 21st session for Soul Detox. Welcome. You did it. You did it. And y'all still standing. Come on, family. You did it, and you're still standing. I'm so glad to have you here with me. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. All right. How to become the master of your defense mechanisms. I'm glad you asked. Are you tired of your defense mechanisms undermining your happiness? Yes or no? Or unsure? Type it on the screen. You can step up to the plate, and I'm going to help you do just that. And not just step up to the plate, but take charge. But it's going to take concentrated action. I'm going to need you to have an end goal. And our end goal is going to be figure out where you're at, then weigh out the pros and cons, figure out how these defense mechanisms are tearing you down, and then you can figure out how to climb out of the hole you've dug. We all dug our own hole, even if we were not aware of it. So last night we started number 1 in our self-assessment, and it went something like this. If someone asked you to write down your top 3 toxic defense mechanisms, what would they be? What would they be? Taking more than a few seconds indicates a need to take it back to the drawing board to think things through. Until we know exactly what our issues are, there's little chance we can effectively fix them. To get yourself back to peace, you need complete, brutal honesty with yourself. And that's what this self-assessment is. If you're just coming into your session, please take a moment and hit like on whatever social media you are observing from. Please take a moment and hit like. The comments are excellent. You're doing well. That's your offering. But your tithe is to go in and hit a heart or a thumbs up or some type of emoji. And please hit it on YouTube as well. Please. That's it. That's all we ask. So to do the self-assessment, you have to be able to, number 1, start with writing down your top 3 toxic defense mechanisms. And I see Lydia's doing hers. Candy's doing hers. Brittany's doing hers. Come on. Good job. Much better than last night. Y'all are moving with it tonight. Your top 3. And believe it or not, denial's in there somewhere with all of us. So don't be surprised. And if it took you more than a few seconds, then you probably need a little help to probe a little bit more, to kind of like to trigger you in a good way, in a healthy way, not in a bad way. All right, Noemi, I'm reading yours. Very good. And last night I set up something really wonderful for all of us, and I made a offer to everyone on here who's on live, and of course those who registered that are not on our lives, but they watch it later or however they get their information. They may go on the podcast, because we're also on where you can go and hear it recorded audibly, where you don't have to depend on video, and that's on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Amazon. Is it Audible? Yes, and Audible. You can go to all of those and just follow us by sound. And I appreciate you making comments there as well. If you go to any of the podcasts, it may only show up on Anchor podcast, but the first few in the beginning, I put up some questions that are actually there for you to answer on the screen, and it would take you on to the next episode, just to kind of get you some, not relevancy, but some exchange of information to get you involved. So please, right now we're at 84, but we only have 47 hearts, 47 thumbs up. If you don't mind, please hit some thumbs up for me, or some hearts, or some caring emojis. Please hit something. John Booker said that he uses Spotify. It really helps, especially in replay. If you're going to listen to it again in replay, it really, really helps. A lot of people like to see. They are seeing learning style. Some people can hear it. I'm by sight as well, but I can usually do the replay by audio much better. And if I didn't have a chance to edit out, you can kind of like, move the screen bar past all the protocols of the hello and the greetings and all of that. But the last few nights I've been able to edit that out and upload it on all of the places where you might get your podcast. So what I did, and Ebony sent an email out, I believe it went out today, where it's given everyone in here who's been committed an opportunity to have 3 sessions with a coach. Very, very special price. Very special. You'll never see that again. But it's because we're actually in here doing the work. I'm committed and investing into you to get this work done. And you can pick whichever coach you want. And it's 3 sessions, but it's particularly to help you hone in on your defense mechanisms and maybe start asking you some questions about it. You'll really be surprised when someone's asking you questions on the other end or the other side of the table, how differently you respond and how differently the answers come up. Information flows when you have somebody kind of like tapping, like those oil tankers. They tap, 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 and then the oil starts. Kind of like those maple trees. They tap, 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 and then the syrup starts coming out. That's kind of what mental health coaching does. You get a little bit of that and you will be surprised at how your life will begin to change. So you should have the email. If not, go to our app and let us know that you didn't get it. I know a couple of people did inbox me and said that they're having email troubles. They were locked out and such. And I got your messages. If you can set up a Google email, you can do it in seconds. Go set up a Google email and you will get it quickly, and we can start getting this information to you so you're not missing anything. So we want you to get the self-assessment done. We want you to try 3 sessions with a coach at the lowest price you will ever see. Take advantage of it. And the way it is, it's for 3 sessions and it's for 3 weeks. So you need to book once a week with them. You can book 3 times in 1 week if you want. But this particular offer is only for 3 sessions. There will be more at the end of the program. But this is to help you, even if you just want prayer, or if you're stuck, or, there's something else that's going on with you. You don't have to do it regarding this self-assessment, but that's the reason why you got the offer at this time. So we have to make sure on step 1, when we do our self-assessment, that we have to get ourselves back to a peace. And you need to be completely and brutally honest with yourself on the self-assessment, because you don't want to use this space to please anyone. You don't want to use this space not to be judged with anyone. I've heard people in my church say sometimes, well, I know them. I don't want them to judge me. Trust me, they can't judge you because I do their assessments. They do this with me. So if they don't want me to judge you, they most certainly are not going to judge you. And they are being trained for something greater. And because they're being trained for something greater, the judgment side of them doesn't exist in this business relationship. The more you need, the more they are needed. It's a good bartering situation. So figure out where you're at and what defense mechanisms you're using. Pinpoint your reactions, the emotions behind those reactions. This is a good place to have the coaches help you. Figure out your defense mechanisms, pinpoint your reactions, the emotions that are behind the reactions, and the triggers that set those emotions off. Because everything is connected. And to get to the root of all your issues, you're going to have to follow the path backward and get back to a clear vantage point. Question yourself. Question how you interact with others. Question who you are in times of hardship. How do you show up in times of hardship? And who you are in times of elation and joy and success. When you are feeling insecure, do you tend to lash out? Most of us do. When you're feeling as though something is going too well, do you self-sabotage and run away before you can be hurt by others? Beat your toxic self-defense tendencies by starting with some honesty. That's a great line right there. I want to like and share this myself. A couple people just came into my spirit. Beat your toxic self-defense tendencies by starting with some honesty. Number 2, self-assessment. Let's go. Find out if it's worthwhile. Find out if it's worthwhile. Once you know the lay of the land with your defense mechanisms, you can honestly weigh out how they positively and negatively affect you. Not all defense mechanisms are created equal. Some of them bring along nasty results, while others can bring us closer together when managed delicately, or I'd like to say functionally. Until you honestly analyze the feedback you're getting from your behavior, you'll never know. Check out your behavior. Do you seem to not be able to keep friends? Do you seem to not be able to keep love relationships? Are you hearing the same things from lovers? Are you hearing the same things from your friends? What about with your employers? What about with your family? Use the information. Don't discourage anyone who's showing you or telling you things about your life, because then that's going to take us back a few pages to PRIDE, pride. If we can't be brutally honest with you, there's a pride issue. Not all defense mechanisms are created equal. Be honest about your defense mechanisms and be honest about how you're using them or overusing them, as I stated in the book. If they are disrupting your happiness or your life, then you need to admit it to yourself and begin thinking of ways to settle and resolve them once and for all. So my question to you in number 2 is, are they worth it? With the defense mechanisms that we asked, we only asked for 3. If you have more, you are well on your way. You're ready. Are they worth it? Good evening, Kevin. Don't flinch away from uncomfortable truths. Does your tendency to self-sabotage push away your friends or detonate your most intimate relationships? When you deny your negative emotions, do you just make yourself feel worse in the long run? Question every inch of who you are and then think about who you want to be. That's powerful. Question every inch of who you are and then think about who you want to be. If you discover more good than bad, then it's time to make some changes. It's time to make some changes. I want to talk for a moment about tapping into emotional awareness. We're moving fast tonight. It's only 7:26 p.m. But at the same time, we only have 49 hearts and caring emojis or thumbs up. So either I'm going to take a break or we're going to get the numbers up. Come on, y'all. Help me out. I learned this from some of the people that I follow online, the influencers that I follow online, and they're up to like 25,000, 50,000 people, and they will actually put a commercial in or play some really funky music that people don't really like. And they say, I'm not going to come back. I'm not going to share any more information. I'm not going to make you laugh anymore. I'm not going to sing anymore. I'm not going to share this vital information with you if you can't like the video. And they're like, there's 20,000 of you on right now, and only 500 of you have hit like. So I think at 89 viewers right now, I can ask for more than 49 people to come on and hit like. Come on and help us out. And you're welcome. Karen says, thank you. She got the email on the offer and she's going to take advantage of it. I promise you, you're going to really, really appreciate it. Assessment question number 3, tapping into your emotional awareness. Emotional awareness is such a powerful thing, and it can unlock a lot of doors for us in terms of self, relationships, and even our careers. When you become aware of your own emotions and how they affect you, you often also end up with a better understanding of those same emotions in others. This in turn helps you to relate, and it helps you to see things from their point of view, but more of interest to you as well as your own. So don't just focus on beating yourself, your defense mechanisms. Don't just focus on beating them. Focus instead on being as mentally strong as possible. That's what emotional awareness is about. And my next mentoring program that I do online, I'm going to teach on emotional intelligence. If you're interested in that, you will get an email whenever I do anything, any programs, any coaching. I'm going to host a recovery group, and the recovery group at the Apostles House is definitely going to be on NA and AA and other areas of our life that we need help with. But I'm going to host some recovery groups on healing from broken childhoods, healing from divorce. We're going to start that actually, I believe, in February. We're going to start healing from divorce or broken relationships, how to help you heal from a broken heart. Because divorce doesn't just mean you were married. That's the legal terminology. In the spiritual world, it's when any place that you've made a bond did not happen. It's where your hope was deferred and now your heart is sick. That's what the Bible says. Whenever your hope is deferred, it causes your heart to be sick. So it could be divorce, it could be death, you could be grieving, it could be a relationship that you weren't legally married in, but you were together forever, or you just had so much hope in this relationship. If that's you, we're going to be offering classes in that. Well, not classes, but a recovery group. And we're going to help you get through the heart care, the loss of hope. We're going to help you get through that. So we have a lot coming up. A lot of it is virtual. Some will begin to happen in person. So if you are more of a hands-on person, we will have room for you to come in and actually be around people who are going through what you're going through and really just need to see your face and need to see your face show up every week. Do you know how blessed people feel when they enter church and they see the same people enter every week? It brings such a commonality. It brings such a feeling of unity. People actually look for each other, and they may never tell you, but I've heard them say to me, I look for so-and-so, and when they come in, I feel better. They may never speak to you, and they don't have to, because it's a personal thing. But I'm at a place in their life, in the ministry, where I get to hear this type of information. Sometimes we just need to see your face. We're not just concerned for you, but you bring a piece of togetherness to us. The puzzle comes together a lot better when we work together. So we're going to be in my mentoring group. If you're interested in being mentored, put it on the screen and Ebony will take your information on your member profile in my app. Remember the app, y'all? Spaces by Wix, Spaces. If you go to where you download your apps and you download the Spaces app. And then in the search bar, you put Suzanne Howard. If you go to your member profile, we can tag you in there for mentorship information. And anytime I send anything out just to mentees, you will get it. But a lot of y'all, after this, I think you can benefit from being mentored one-on-one or in the group sessions that I do every 3 months. I do 6 weeks of mentoring every 3 months. So that's once a quarter, once a semester, just 6 weeks. We do it in the evening. We do it for an hour and a half. We learn about investing. We learn about saving. We learn about building our, what was that first one that I did? That's the one that really stuck with me the most. It's when we have a skewed view about ourselves. ISPs, I can't think right now. But emotional awareness is going to be something I'm going to tap into because we need this in ourselves. We need this in our ministries. We need this in our workplaces, in our entrepreneurial. We need this balance of emotions. We don't have to hate emotions. We just need to know how to handle them. I had mentioned to you all a while ago about that poor little 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher. Did anybody see on the headlines today? He said what he wanted to do was to set her on fire and watch her burn. There's an anger there that may be rightfully so. She could have mishandled him, mistreated him, or just didn't understand him. It could have been a combination of what he wasn't getting at home already. And he had hope that this teacher was going to love him and be kind to him. And maybe she doesn't have the time to, or maybe she's just not that type personality wise. Whatever it may have been, it could have been nothing like that at all. He had a reaction. He had anger. And he needed to be taught how to handle anger, what to do with those emotions. That's where emotional intelligence comes in. Because as I said to my husband today, that little young man has problems and he's 6. If we don't get him treatment now at 16 or 26, I don't know where we're going to be on the news then. So don't just focus on beating your defense mechanisms in the ground. Focus on being as mentally strong as possible so that you are capable of managing and navigating challenges whenever they appear. Anybody want to know how to navigate challenges in their life whenever they appear? Rebuild your self-confidence and be present in your body as well as in your mind. Take notice of your emotions as they occur. Don't shut them down. Listen to what they're telling you. They're there for a purpose. They serve you. Put that down in there. I want you to write that down. My emotions serve me. And many of us are serving our emotions. When our emotions make us feel angry, we give it a tantrum. When our emotions make us feel rejected, we start rejecting other people. You are serving your emotions. But that's not how it works. Your emotions are there to serve you. Let's take charge of our emotions. Listen to what they tell you and the paths they guide you toward. Are your emotions bringing you closer to the greater good, to what you really want? Or are they archaic shadows of a past, maybe all the way back to your childhood, that you're not ready to let go of yet? And that's why our theme song is Let It Out. The more emotionally aware we become, the more empowered we are to cut ties with the past and any relics that are eating away at our present life. Don't run from your feelings. Don't run from your feelings. Do not stop. Do not run from your feelings. If you want to control your defense mechanisms, embrace them. Completely different response. Number 4, self-assessment we're doing tonight. Allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to let go. More often than not, our defense mechanisms are leftover pieces of the past, lessons left unlearned that manifest as violent overreactions to emotionally challenging situations. Let's get that on the screen, Ebony. Defense mechanisms are leftover pieces of the past, lessons left unlearned that manifest as violent overreactions. See, we haven't learned lessons from our past yet, but we believe time heals. How can time heal a lesson that hasn't been learned? Lessons left unlearned that manifest as violent overreactions to emotionally challenging situations. Why do I keep meeting the same type of person? He's a different color. He's a different age. He may have a different religion, maybe a different height, and maybe a different build. But he's the same person. Why do I keep doing this? Yes, the law of attraction takes place in this. No doubt about it. I can buy into that with you 100%. But you're not learning from lessons that you have gone through that are left unlearned. And now they're manifesting. Each time we encounter a situation that reminds us of a painful instance in our past, we find ourselves reverting and regressing into old habits, like putting up walls or lashing out. To let go of our defense mechanisms for good, we have to cut ties with our past for good as well. Are you ready to cut ties with your past? I want you to answer that, but I don't want you to answer that too quickly. I want you to take a breather. Let's take a breather for a minute. We're doing so good right now. We're at 7:37. You're sitting across from this table from me. It's just you and I here in this room. I want you to relax your muscles because you're a little tense right now. Feel your neck, relax your neck a little bit, your shoulders, move them around, maybe your waist and your belly. Let's take a little breather. Yeah, because that's a lot. Karen said, yes, please. That's a lot. Did you need a breather? Yes. My studio audience. I'm going to put the camera on her. She's going to get mad at me. My studio audience, you need a breather. Yes. And I want you to close your eyes. If you're not driving or at work, I know a lot of y'all are at work. I know Daniel Woodard will get on here and say, I'm here. He's piping in from work. So if you can, if not on replay, you can redo it. But I really want to ask you a question that's going to require some introspection. Do you want to let go of your past? Close your eyes if you can. Come on, relax your shoulders. Y'all got tense when you heard that. When you heard me say let go, some of y'all clammed right up because you were like, no, what they did to me is wrong. I'm not ready to let go. They haven't apologized. I'm going to hold on to this until I get an apology. No, you're not. I'm going to ask again, and I want to see the answers coming up on the screen. Are you ready to cut ties with your past for good? Yes. Beautiful. Come on. I'm reading it, Cheryl Johnson. Deja, I see it. Come on, John. Yes, Kevin. Come on. I see y'all answers. Yolanda, come on. It's not easy. I'm not telling you it's easy. That's why I give away 30 days, because it's not easy. Spend some time breaking down your defense mechanisms and make sure you pull back the cover to see where the roots are lurking. Does your tendency to deny or over-rationalize come from your childhood, in which these behaviors were necessary to survive emotionally? See, I'm not taking away the fact that it's what you needed to do to survive then. But what you needed to survive then is archaic. It's outdated. You've got the old iOS version from Apple, and you can't upgrade anything else on your phone because you have an old version on your phone. So what is it like when you have an old version on your phone and all the new updates are coming and you're not able to download those updates? It's just like someone who refuses to let go of their past, and all these great things are happening and conveniences, and there's a way to do things easier and smarter and more enjoyment, but you can't partake in any of that because you are insistent on keeping that old version of yourself. Does your tendency to deny or over-rationalize come from a childhood in which these behaviors were necessary to survive emotionally? There's often a much deeper reason that we choose to run from struggle than simply discomfort. Let go of those past hurts and know that you no longer have to hold on to them to be safe. Those days are gone forever. You can choose right now who you want to be, and you can decide what type of life you want to build for yourself. You can build happier, you can build healthier, and you can build all this without selling yourself short or cutting yourself off with sabotage. Reach out to a mental health professional, a mental health life coach. Start with someone in a recovery group. If you're struggling, let them guide you where you need to go. We're here for you, and so many more are here for you. When you have a support group, friends, family, a community that loves you, a therapeutic community, you are loved at the level you need to be loved. Think about it when the Bible says that there's so much comfort in having many advisors. Doesn't mean going to everyone to get advice from. It means build your team. Do you know who your team is? Put that on the screen. Do you know who your team is? Who is your team of support and love and guidance? They won't judge you, but they will correct you. Perfect time for us to lead into our fifth question on our self-assessment tonight. Figure out who you are. Figure out who you are. Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Defense mechanisms are especially toxic because they can get in the way of who we are meant to be. Your defense mechanisms are a bit like an autopilot or an alarm system. Taking over when not emotionally aware enough or emotionally strong enough, these mechanisms handle our battles for us. See? Who's at the steering wheel? How many of y'all have said it or felt it? Like I'm tagging out. How many of y'all can admit I've tagged out? How many of y'all can admit I felt tapped out? How many of y'all can admit that you have said or thought, I hate adulting? How many of y'all have actually said, I want to go back to the sweetest spot in my childhood? I don't want the whole thing, but the sweetest spot. They handle your battles for you. Do you want to be controlled by your hard-wired responses? No matter how toxic they may be? Come on, this is a self-assessment. It's between you and you. Or do you want to become powerful enough to embrace who you want to be? Because when you believe it, we'll believe it. When you embrace it, we'll embrace it. Decide right now in this moment. Who do you want to be? And until you take responsibility for cultivating that person, all your little mechanisms will continue to out themselves and take over. Your weak spots are triggers that bring your worst defenses to life. Think of your weak spots as potholes. Be conscious of that, but don't let it become a barrier between you and the person you want to be. The great thing about it is none of this can stop you. Zero. Only you. Are you tired of being the person who blows up? Who's on here that can admit, I'm tired of being the person who blows up? Some people aren't tired of it yet. Your reputation sucks. People don't want to have deep talks with you because you blow up. Your loved ones will not engage with you because you blow up. Your loved ones talk to other people about what they should be talking to you about because you blow up. And then let's take it back about a week and then you act out. Who wants to talk to you? I've got enough pressure already with my defense mechanism, my fear, my stress, my anxieties. I do not need to talk to somebody who blows up. I'm not interested in that. So I'll share my most vulnerable, deepest things with someone when it should be you. Are you tired of being the person who blows up? Are you tired of being the person that always breaks down? How about that? No one can bring you any information because you break down over everything. You fall apart. You can't go to work. You can't go to church. You cannot pray. You can't stick to a fast. You can't keep your word. You can't even return a phone call. You are always the one. Maybe you don't blow up. Maybe you blow out. You break down. Is that you? The person who storms off or who denies their feelings altogether. Come on. The Bible says, David, it is me, Lord. It's me standing. It's me. I can tell you about my mother. I can tell you about my father, but Lord, it's me standing right now. I'm standing. Then you need to become a stronger, more capable version of yourself. If that's your aim, you have to start being more authentic and taking action, which is action that is authentically aligned with your real values, not how you show up, your morals, your desires, and your needs. Do you know what you value in life? List 5 things that you value. And then look at that list and say, do I really value it? Or is it just the right thing to say? Do I really value it? Or is it what my family valued? And I never took the time to decide what is it that I value in life. Some people say family, but they're working all the time. So you really don't value family. You're saying the right thing. You value work or you value money, one or the other, but it's not family. Because people who value family will take shorts and hits. I'm sorry. I know we don't like it. I know people feel attacked. Don't say that because I work 3 jobs for my family. That's not right. It's not correct. There's something that's twisted in your belief system that has you thinking that's the way to show your family. That is not. Your kids are not going to remember how much money you had. They're not going to remember even the stuff you brought them. Believe me. But every time you weren't home, every time you wasn't around, every game you missed, every report card you didn't see, the graduation you don't show up for, the conversation you don't have with them, the FaceTimes that you missed, the times that you had a chance to read to them. When they came in the room, you were too busy for them. When they just wanted to sit on your lap, when they just wanted a hug and you dismissed them. They're going to remember. They are going to remember every single one of those times. You've got to be ready to let it go. But you cannot be ready because I'm telling you, you have to be ready when you're ready. And I wish above all things that it would be sooner rather than later. So you don't wake up at 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 and God bless the child, 80 years old. It's never too late, but you just have less time to really enjoy that better freedom that comes with working through these issues. The more emotionally aware we become, the more empowered we are to cut ties with the past and all the stuff that's eating away at us. So spend some time breaking down your defense mechanisms and make sure you pull back the cover to see the roots of everything that could be lurking. Stop running from struggle to struggle just to end up in discomfort. Let go of the past hurts and know that you no longer have to hold on them to feel safe. Got to decide right now in this moment who you want to be. That I'm challenging you with right now. Take the responsibility now for cultivating that person that you want to be. No more acting up, no more being prideful, self-righteous, the person who blows up, the person who always denies, the person who regresses, the person who suppresses, the person who storms off, or the person who denies things altogether. You need help. And it's okay to say, I need help. Anybody on here need help? If it's you and that's your aim, you have to start being more authentic and taking action, which authentically aligns with your values, morals, and desires. So we've hit a good spot on tonight and we still have some time left. So I'm going to take advantage of less than 9 minutes that we have left. So let's begin this journey tonight. I'm going to look forward to seeing what your assessments say. Check your emails, take advantage of them, because the appointments, the email that I sent out with that offer, the offer is only good until February 10th. So that's a session this week, a session next week, and a session the following week, or you could use all 3 in 1 week. But after February 10th, it expires and it's only good for 3 sessions with one of my coaches. Jump on it. That's enough to try each one to see which one might even be a fit if that's what you need to do. So let's talk about, in our ending tonight, letting go of a defense mechanism. Once we begin to catch on to our defense mechanisms and the critical inner voices that drive them, we can start to choose different actions that move us closer to a state of feeling and vitality in life. We can seek out the things that give our lives meaning rather than blindly believing old messages, outdated warnings, and mean self-attacks that hold us back. For some of us, this will mean putting up our phones, putting them away, connecting with ourselves, connecting with our children. For some, it will mean opening up to our partner, allowing them to know us and love us. It's amazing how many people love us and don't even really know us. For some, it will mean fighting an addiction. For some, it may mean giving up control. Are you ready to let it go? Can you put your phone away? Can you have a day a week? Is there someone that you need to be connecting with on a more deeper level? Including yourself. Yourself should be at the top of that list. Is there someone you need to be opening up to, being honest with? Is there someone who needs you to acknowledge your love for them? Is there someone that you need to be vulnerable with? Someone on here tonight needs to make up their mind to fight that addiction. I'm letting go of what won't let go of me. I'm giving up this addiction. Get up now from it. Get up and walk away from it now. Prove to yourself that you do have a bit of self-control. Because what's between you and the person that you see yourself being is you getting up from that place right now. Literally, somebody who's battling addiction, just get up and walk. Get up and move. Some need to get up and move and leave where you are. For some of us, it's just simply giving up control. Whatever our defense mechanisms may be, it can bring up old feelings and anxiety to challenge them. That is why we must remember to have compassion for ourselves and not just for others. Have compassion for yourself. Some people don't even know what that looks like. It may be necessary to seek out a therapist or someone to talk to about your emotions or your memories that surface as we unearth the early experiences that led us to our original defenses. However, it's valuable to remember that no matter what feelings arise, there is a huge reward in preserving and allowing ourselves to be undefended and vulnerable. Those 2 words, right? They cast out some spirits all by themselves. undefended and vulnerable. While it may feel frightening at first, like sailing out upon an uncharted sea called my life, giving up defenses is a way of liberating ourselves and opening ourselves up to greater responsibilities and possibilities. Robert Firestone wrote this. I talk about him in my mentorship group a lot. Individuals who are less defended tend to feel freer and have greater potential for experiencing their emotions, including an increased capacity to feel the joy and happiness of life, as well as a higher tolerance for intimacy. They also are more cognizant of the pain inherent in living and appear to be more responsive and adaptive to events that impinge upon their well-being. Relatively undefended people generally feel more integrated, can live more fully and authentically, and tend to be more humane towards other people. In the short term, letting go of defense mechanisms can feel both frightening and exciting. In the long term, we can create a new normal for ourselves that embraces the poignancy, the ebbs and flows, the depths and connections that the human experience has to offer. Ultimately, we can forge our path, creating a life that has a unique meaning and represents who you truly are. Welcome. We've hit a very good pivotal place in our soul for this January. Can you imagine if you are able to keep up this momentum for the rest of the year? Look how awesome you started your year out. You made a major investment in yourself at the top of the year. If you can keep you at the top of your list of priorities throughout the remainder of this year, I can guarantee you, if you're able to do that, what you look like now will not be what you look like in January 2024. I am your host, Apostle Dr. Suzanne M. Howard. I am finished for this evening, but we will be back on same time, same station tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And we are going to look much deeper and closer, do some deep, what they call it, deep sea diving. We're going to do some deep sea diving into your soul and help you notice how your defense mechanisms have been affecting your mental well-being. Thank you for tuning in with me tonight. I pray that the Lord bless you and watch between me and thee. And I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Good night. God bless you. Please still go ahead and share. I'm going to share with some people that came to my spirit, and we're going to bless someone with this gift on tonight of mental health and healing. God bless you and good night. See you tomorrow. Let it